Hello and welcome, one and all, to An Unlikely Tale for Whom the Bell Tolls. Based in the Sword Coasts of Faerun, where we use a combination of 5th edition, Pathfinder 1st edition, a splash of homebrew, and a sprinkling of the classic rule of cool. Tonight we'll be continuing our intrepid journey to save the very fabric of their world, while having a little fun along the way. However, do note that this is a brutal, grim, dark adventure, filled with various hardships, struggles, and injustices, so if you have a low constitution score like Silas, you may want to grab advantage for those saves. Now, while we are starting a little later than usual tonight, that is due to the unfortunate sickness of our beloved youth. But that goes without saying that we will still have our great cast of players. Hey guys.
Hi. Hello.
Uh-huh.
You want me to what?
You sound like you're so far away, Rude.
I am.
Come back to
Bone in. Input for you.
So, how you guys doing? How's your week been?
really alright. It's the usual thing. Just excited to be here as always after the heckin' grindstone of the week. The weekly grindstone, rather.
Relatable. You guys ready to get started?
Yes.
Yeah, baby.
Beautiful. With their harrowing escape from the collapsing Temple of Jothaman, and the strange events that had taken place within, our party regrouped within the campsite of the Divinus Frame dig site. Behind them, the strange ruins now lie buried deep beneath the sands of Anarok once more. And it's here that Alistair and Seven meet formally for the first time, as Silas takes the time to reveal a number of troubling details he had come to learn days prior. Tired and wounded from their expedition, they collectively decide to retire for a rest, within one of the nearby tents and discuss in much more amicable conditions their next move. And once everyone had settled and was comfortable, Silas proceeded to share some of the recent thoughts that he had and propose a new plan going forward to the party. Realizing they were vastly unprepared for the recent conflicts and those to come, he assigns new tasks to each of the unlikely few that their collective talents might be better utilized. He asks Roko to bear the responsibility of designing offensive weapons using her advanced technology and the magic artifact known as the Mythalar. One such that allowed the city of Aurora to fly. His hope is that if their weapons were designed and composed of such advanced resources, the enemy might have a more difficult time disabling them during battles or onslaughts against the city. He then looks to Alistair and Gandiva, aware of their previous experience leading and training troops, and asks them to swiftly raise an army. As for the longest time, the unlikely few fought together to overcome their adversaries. But with the risk of all-out war on the horizon, he questioned their ability to handle such insurmountable forces. And so he asked them to raise the numbers they needed to stand a chance. Alistair asks if they have funding for such a venture, and Silas mentions that a member of the Seven Saviors, Inigo, runs the new Barovian mint and banking, and that a loan to fund the war effort might be possible. Turning then to Youth and Ziz, he asked that they might harness and utilize their talents, as well as the magical potential of Aurora, that it might better defend itself from exterior threats. With the magical displays exerted by Youth in the past, and Ziz's strange awakening within the Jothaman Temple, he hoped to fortify the city against infiltration and protect Aurora from any further exterior threats that seek to do it harm. And with these various jobs assigned, he then revealed another lead towards their ply for victory. An ancient collection of 5 scrolls known as the Nether Scrolls. It is from these ancient texts that the Netherese themselves had seen the golden age of magic, and it's said that the knowledge and understanding of all magic is housed within their gilded, silvery, rune-marked pages. He notes that there is currently a group of adventurers within his employ that are seeking out the first, and states that should they succeed, it might prove a massive boon in their future endeavors. They move to discuss how they might best go forward about raising troops, and decide to take a detour eastward towards the Dalelands, hoping to draw eager rural folk willing to join the war effort. Another suggestion that's posited that they might better utilize the abilities of Alcé the Grey Necromancer. In the past, she had proven to be an incredible practitioner of the art, but this idea was halted when it was revealed that she had chosen to remain in New Barovia, that she might care for her and Silas's child, Idranus. Severn easily offers a solution, stating that his close relationship with Rude, whom is back in New Barovia with his own family, could possibly care for the young boy, that Alcé might be free to join them and offer her skills in the coming battles. Bearing strong trust in both Seven and Rude, he agrees, and the plan is locked into place as they set off to load the airship with the divinous frames they had recovered and regroup with Aurora. Once settled back into the city, Gandiva communes with Asmodeus to fill the Prince of Lies in with all that has come to pass, as well as revealing the fact that she had obtained the dagger of Jothaman and her own ability to shift into a divine weapon. And as this is taking place, Ziz sets the course towards the Dalelands in the east, meeting up with Adam and filling him in with the plan going forward. Alistair approaches Silas, whom had taken to the workshop, eagerly working to repair and restore the divinous frames they had recovered from the Anauroch Desert, and comes to him with a rather outlandish plan. One that, should it succeed, would bolster their opportunity to recruit forces in the coming days. Alistair, with his ability to shapeshift, posited that they partake in a facilitated battle, easily in sight of the civilians, that word might readily spread of the return of Strahd von Zarovich. And, should Silas succeed, that it might stoke hope in the people that they could overcome the Dark Lord and the machinations at play. A plan that Silas readily agrees to. And having experienced the events in the temple, a duressed and distressed Roko goes to meet with her crewmate Hana, sharing her woes and getting gentle reassurances of her ability to succeed. And affirming her capacity by recalling the previous conquests and successes that she had come to in the past. And while this takes place, both Ziz and Yuv decide to commune with Maestro respectively. Ziz, curious about what had taken place within the temple, reaches out to the goddess of the weave for answers, and learns the nature of not only the boon that he had been granted by the goddess of the weave, but how he might further proceed to strengthen it. Yuv, using this opportunity to commune with her patron, learns more about what is to come, and how she can best serve in its successful stopping. She learns that Lathander, the god of light, has gone missing, and that the infighting amongst the gods has broken into full fervor. But to her benefit, she learns that not only are the Nether Scrolls part of a pair of exact duplicates, but the exact location of where she might find the second. Buried deep within the golden grove of the Feywilds, protected by the Seelie Court, and with this knowledge, the two share in but a moment of wholesome companionship. Yuv expressing sympathy for the goddess and the troubles that she has experienced in her many, many lives. But all is not over yet. And there will be time in the future to reflect. For now it is a new day, and Aurora is bound for the east, slowly approaching the mountain ridgeline that borders its southeastern coast. Edge? Coast. On this new day, as the sun rises peeking over the mountain ridges in the distance, ridges that you're likely to reach by the day's end, what does our various party members decide to do as they stir with the morning light?
Gandiva's gonna stretch. Woohoo! Wow, it's morning. Good morning, everyone.
Stretch.
Big stretch.
Big stretch. Woo.
Wait a second. Big stretching is my.
Also want to
True.
thank Reno for that raid. Thank you. Much love.
Imagine getting raided by Reno.
Imagine.
Wow.
Anyway, once Gandiva is awake, she gonna make some coffee and then head to where the little lights are.
Gandiva, stirring with the morning light, crawls from her goose down mattress and moves over to boil up some water that she might make some early morning coffee. And after enjoying this beverage, she readies herself for the day, leaving behind a still slumbering Silas, and makes way for the top layer of the city. She navigates the various winding corridors of Aurora until she reaches one of the lifts and takes it all the way to the top level of the city. Stepping out into the brisk morning air as it whistles by you, the city, while aborted, it's difficult to notice, moving at a steady pace through the skies above. She makes her way through the earthen pathways, snaking between the various buildings that mount the top of the city, and eventually finds the training yard, a collection of buildings and cordoned off areas, divided up by ropes. A few of the older children are already quickly working, training diligently the various training posts.
Hello, children. Good morning.
They quickly stop what they're doing, snapping to attention and eagerly greeting Gandiva. "Hello, Matron Gandiva," they say in unison.
Boy, do I have a great job for you guys today. It's actually going to be quite fun. We're going to make some really fun posters.
A collection of them have confused and dumbstruck expressions on their face. "Posters?" One of them speaks up.
Yes. Do we have any volunteers? I mean, you don't have to, but you know, if you like drawing and you think you're pretty good at it, then you're more than welcome to join.
The collection of 6 young adults kind of look to each other, befuddled, before quickly whispering amongst each other. One of them breaking off from the group and entering the main building at the training yard. One that's collectively and colloquially known as the mess hall. The 5 remaining turn to you. The one who had spoken up earlier pipes up. "We sent Kristoff to go inside and go see who else wants to join, but we'll help."
All right, very good. We're going to make some really important posters that lift up the people of Aurora and give them a bit of a morale boost.
Dawning realization seems to slowly creep across all of their faces as they suddenly realize exactly what your intention is and eagerly apply themselves, excitedly discussing amongst each other how they can best design these posters to suit this purpose.
Yes, yes, yes. I think a really good idea is drawing, like getting a picture of Strahd, right? Get a picture of Strahd, and then like giant hands crushing him down, you know, because it gives the people power. They have the power to smash Strahd. You know what I mean?
The young man who had spoken up earlier pipes up once more. "Yeah, that sounds like a great idea, Matron. But
Yeah.
who's Strahd?"
It's a very personal evil guy to the people of New Barovia.
"Like the Mistress Annalita?"
Yeah. like your Annalita. It's their Annalita. Yeah, that's a great way of making a comparison.
A look of grim understanding kind of spreads amongst the 5 children present.
You
And
never heard of Strahd before, even though you've been around here for so long?
they shake their heads, having kind of not really asked too many questions. A lot of the Little Lights devote themselves wholly to their training and studies.
Okay, fair enough. Well, you have a lot more in common with the people of New Barovia than you think, then.
As you
Let's give
say
them a
this,
good morale boost with those posters, huh?
Kristoff returns with a handful more of the Little Lights, a collection of roughly 8.
Oh, yeah, yes, this is perfect. Alright, all we need now is supplies to make these posters.
Kristoff pipes up. Maybe we can find them in the library.
Very true. Okay, everyone line up. The shortest in the front, the tallest in the back.
They snap into ranks as you give the order.
Alright, okay, let's go to the library.
And as Gandiva departs the training grounds with these 13 Little Lights in tow, what are our other party members filling their time with in the early hours of the morning?
Anyone else? Yes, no? Me next?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. I didn't realize my mic had the mute on. Oops.
This seems to happen a lot.
Yeah, because I switch it off because I sneeze or I cough or something. I forget to turn it back on.
Fair enough. Okay, I go. So Roko finds herself waking up from the cuddle pile with Hana since the prior night.
Log date October 25th, Psycho 299. Aurora is bound eastward over the mountain ridges. The amount of projects, personal and otherwise, have substantially piled up over the course of what appears to have been fewer than 30 cycles. Although I am a super genius, even I will have difficulty with the manual labor and processing. So, I have decided that today, I shall attempt to communicate with Primus. In theory, that I can decode other dormant powers with this boon. Perhaps I can do this in a similar manner as I have seen youth do so many times. But mere meditation feels so mundane for what's supposed to be a great, powerful, and technological mind like Primus. So I wonder if that's even adequate. The only time I ever meditated is when Hana shares tea with me. I will go to her assistance in this endeavor.
And so, the two of them will share tea time in hopes of broadening Roko's mind in a more wisdomy matter so she can reach out to Primus.
You've can be found idly poring over books within the Aurorian library.
Oh, I was thinking Roko would just imitate what she has seen you do to...
Oh, okay. I thought you were trying to... Yeah, okay. So, Roko takes a moment, pulling up into the same seated position that she had seen Yuf do so many times before in the past. She closes her eyes and takes a deep breath, doing her best to emulate the things she had seen before, and having a rough grasp the concept of meditation. She does her best to clear her mind, a focused intention to commune with the strange being she had seen during the divine trial. Nothing happens at first. She feels a brief moment of embarrassment, having performed what she'd believed to be such a archaic act. Then something inside her stirs. Almost like rhythmic beating, but not from her heart. Somewhere else. Like gentle ticking of a clock, the clicking of gears, rhythmically tapping over and over. That focus that she had struggled to find before becomes much more easier to grasp. And as she exhales, a warm sensation fills her. In many ways, she would liken it to an adoration. But it feels different. A sense of detachment, as if to admire a flower from a distance. She inhales once more. That sensation grows much more, filling her to her core. That rhythmic ticking falling in line with her heartbeat. And when she feels nothing more other than this strange sensation, in a moment of resignation and frustration, she sits up, her eyes opening, and what she sees astounds her. A massive yawning room, a vaulted ceiling with a strange aperture at its center. Cables, wires, cords, and bands extending down from the ceiling, meeting at a singular point. An individual at the room's center, standing in a pool, what you can only describe as turquoise waters. The room bears a surprising lack of color, lending a strange perceptual depth to it, as if peering through a fisheye lens. This both disorients Roko for a moment, and in that same vein, makes the individual at the room center that much more easy to see. And she recognizes it immediately. Featureless and shaped like a humanoid. A blank, expressionless face adorned upon a head, bearing not a single head of hair, or single strand of hair. The strange cables and bands and wires feeding from the ceiling above come to a meet at the back of this humanoid. A feature you hadn't noticed when you had seen it before in the Divine Hall of Sigil. And in this moment you recognize that you stand before the God of Order, Lord of Mechanus, Primus. The being neither acknowledges nor indicates any awareness of your presence. Its eyes staring off as if seeing something unseen.
Hello?
As you call out meekly to the expansive room, the being known as Primus makes no acknowledgement of your presence. As you stand at the room's edge,
Roko begins trotting forward to observe more closely everything around Primus.
you make your way across the room, inspecting its contents. Its stark, brilliant white makes it difficult to make out any discernible features. But under your taloned feet, the cold bite of steel or metal of some sort can be easily felt. As you make your way towards the only really identifiable feature within the chamber, you approach that strange device, that pool of green liquid at its center. A collection of pipes and apertures extending off of it, feeding into the ground below. The creature that sits at its center within it, still unflinchingly still, almost like a statue, allowing you to regard it in its full countenance at a closer inspection. Even this close, it's easy to see that the being bears not a single identifiable feature on its surface. Sexless, genderless. The only real human-like trait that you could say that this thing has is the aperture feeding from the pool into its navel, like some mockery of an umbilical cord. You stand now less than 5 feet from the edge of the pool.
A sharp inhale of breath.
Nothing could ever be proven without mere touch in the field of science.
Slowly, hesitantly, she reaches out a taloned finger to touch the water.
Now give me 1 second.
Those are words you like to hear the DM say when you do weird things.
That's quirky. That was very quirky of Roko.
Indeed.
About the only thing that's better to hear is when you do something and you hear the DM go, "What?"
This is the first time she's ever considered doing this because she thought the idea of communicating with the gods is silly. You know, science mind and all that. Until, indeed, all that talk about how atheism in this kind of world can only be detrimental to the individual. Also, she needs more power. Unlimited power.
Okay, so I wasn't expecting you to touch the pool. Alright. So you're gonna have to give me a little bit as I comb through some things.
Gotcha. I wish I could find more material on Primus, but I simply could not.
It's very, very, very hard to come across any like really substantial shit. There's not a lot of focus on Primus, and for good reason. His lore would allude to him being a force like Maestra. Don't fuck with it. Don't fuck with it. Bad idea to fuck with it. It's okay to practice it, to learn it. It's a very dangerous game to mess with order. Okay. Oh. Okay.
Is that good?
Hang on, hang on.
At the edge of my seat.
Okay. Alright. So I'm gonna need a con save.
Can I freaking, there it is.
And that's a 5, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Her
Whatever the
smart,
solution may be.
her smart makes her strong.
Yes.
Also, I'll be right back. I didn't realize my drink is gone and I am very thirsty.
Oh no, numbers.
A variable beyond my grasp.
Okay. As Roko dips one of her taloned fingers into the pool of swirling green liquid, the second it makes contact with the surface, a massive discharge of energy courses outward, snaking up her talon, arm, and filling her entire being. It's agonizing, as you've never felt such a high level voltage course through your body. Even during your experiments, lab accidents, and testing of devices, nothing has ever been so intense an experience. With unnatural and uncharacteristic fortitude, you manage to dig deep and endure the agonizing charge of energy coursing through your body. And as a result, you take 28 damage. Specifically, 28 lightning, fire, cold, like everything.
All the flavors.
Yeah.
Delicious.
All at once?
Yes.
Whew.
It's like touching a
Ah,
chaos bolt or prismatic orb,
It's
or
like
chromatic orb rather.
It's like sticking your tongue on a 9-volt.
Yeah, that's a great example.
Howdy. Good thing Roko is surprisingly pretty sturdy.
Yeah, she tanked
Sturdy
that.
girl.
And as you manage to discharge the last remaining bits of energy coursing through your body, you pull away from the pool and ground yourself for a moment. You feel your body twitching and convulsing violently as you attempt to get the nerve signals in your brain under wraps. A deep ringing fills your ears. You see spots. But after taking a moment, you kind of collect yourself, gasping heavily on the ground. And then you realize something. The liquid's still on your talon, crackling and coursing with energy. As you sit there, doubled over on the ground, staring at your still coated talon, heaving to collect your breath, what does Roko do?
Still clearly having some problems. She does her best to get a glimpse of Primus still.
As you look up, Primus is looking down at you.
Ooh. Smack. Hi.
The being opens its mouth, but no words are heard. Instead, they echo in your mind. Chosen one. For what do you come to Regulus to seek?
Mm. Please excuse me for a moment. Whew.
She shivers.
I have arrived in order to seek further answers. Rather, anything in relation to this boon that you bestowed upon me. I'm sure that although you are a great and brilliant mind and have many things in your sights, I'm sure you remember me at least.
You hear a cacophony of voices, varying pitches and deep depths, indiscernible from masculine or feminine. A singular yes.
Good. Good. Yes, this is good. Okay. To say the least, I am being overwhelmed. You see, Lalamet has made her presence aboard my bastion, and she simply refuses to leave, and at worst, she expects indentured servitude to her unreasonable demands. On top of that, there is of course the impending apocalypse, as you and the rest of the court have foretold, and other strange, otherworldly assaults that have apparently somehow have appeared within my bastion. I hate to admit this, but I simply do not have the answer to solve all of these problems, especially simultaneously. Please, is there anything that could help?
As you speak your plight, the Primus, its expression unceasing. The only indication that is even acknowledging what you say is the unbreaking eye contact he has as he speaks. Your paltry plight is of no significance to me. You have been chosen as an agent of order to act out the will asserted unto you by decree of the divine trial of Sigil. Failure to uphold your contractual duty is grounds for immediate imprisonment.
Within Roko's mind,
Track, not again, not again. Yes, that is only reasonable, of course. After all, the responsibility isn't within the mortals, of course, is it not? Yes, you are, of course, correct that this is a contractual duty I must uphold. However, I think it is only to the benefit of this holy order that I may fulfill that task with something more instantaneous, something far greater than mere minds could come up with. No, that won't do. What I need is fortification from forces beyond my grasp. I have heard tale, from what few tales there even were, that you bear immunity to all magic. Is this correct?
Yes, mortal.
It is true then. I have no reason to doubt this. I simply seek this fortification. Something to protect myself while I protect others. Help me, help you, help us all.
And in a moment of pure abject terror, you see Primus's face break into an angry scowl. Mortal, you would ask me to upset the natural balance of order, to transgress into the territory of the goddess of the weave. This will
Surely
not do.
Mm.
What has been
But-
asserted is a countermeasure of balance created by Ao, not a gift from which mortals to abuse.
Surely this isn't entirely unreasonable after all. There were two among my affiliation who have their own contractual obligations to the goddess Maestra. She is the one with the origin of... no. The root of the weave, as you call it. Isn't there some sort of connection that could feasibly be made with that in mind? To retain this balance?
You
Balance in
ask
order, of
me
course.
to turn you into an abomination of chaos,
What? No,
to
no, no, no,
make
no,
you
no.
immune to a fundamental element of the universe, to break
I mean,
the rules.
this is a mere aversion to the rules, perhaps, but it's for the benefit of the law and order that you seek, that I seek. I wish nothing more than this order to be retained upon the very universe itself and all the vast reaches of it. But what good is that if I cannot remain control of all of my devices, all of my machinations? Mere machinery cannot protect me from the chaotic forces that you speak of.
As you finish your plea to the goddess, the god Primus, its expression is unchanging. The gods are in chaos. My realm is threatened. And you would ask me to further upset the balance for your own machinations. Were I to grant you such a power, what would you do? Charge into battle valiantly? Many mortals would say this, but I see all. What is, what was, and what will be. All possibilities. And any creature granted such a boon would only seek to abuse it, to damage the order of the world. And I, God of Order, will not be the pillar that collapses and brings about calamity. When the pillars of reality are on their last legs, it is my realm that will be the final bastion. I cannot risk, I cannot chance what opportunity we have to maintain order on the machinations of a mortal. I will not grant you this gift, but I will give you something else instead. Primus reaches out, laying its silvery hand upon the head of the Avali. Give me an intelligence saving throw and a constitution saving throw.
I'm gonna say its saves are exceedingly rare.
You're gonna want to bump that constitution save.
Oh yes. Oh, wait. Oh, is that okay. Well, you know what? I've still got a good chunk left. It's just throw 2 of those on both things, if that's possible.
I would say you'd only need to throw it on the con save, and you'd only be able to use one anyway, because it also uses a reaction.
Ah, that's right. Okay.
But okay. As Primus lays their hand upon Roko's head, that course of energy you had felt earlier when you had tapped into the pool that Primus had resided within courses through you once more, tenfold. Its intensity and agony indescribable, as if every neuron in your body is screaming to stop. A rush of knowledge and information, not unlike the ones you had had before during your experimentations, washes over you. A flood of imagery. And then you feel this strange burning in you, like a compulsion, a drive, begging and clawing, a need to exert order, to bring things into balance. You take 35 damage, and the next 2 stages of your boon have been unlocked. Primus withdraws their hand, looking down at the small Avali. The sigil of a cogwheel emblazoned on her crown. While you are chosen by me, and it is my responsibility to offer you the aid you require, should you ever make such an outlandish request of me, you will face the full consequences of such hubris. I will never upset the natural order. And as if you are being yanked backwards. The room of white fades away. The only distinguishable thing you see as you're flying backwards, the outline of Primus in the distance, that steely gaze, unbreaking, until everything is blinding. A full whiteout fills your vision, and after several moments, blinking and rubbing your eyes, once the sensation of being pulled away fades, you realize you are once again sitting within your workshop. A searing pain emanates from your crown, as if you've been branded upon your head.
I'm going to need some more of that tea now. I have a splitting, burning headache.
And as the fellow Avali looks on, dumbstruck and absolutely terrified, they remark that what they had seen was you levitate into the air, convulse violently, and glow with an ominous turquoise light, before thrashing while still floating, and then coming to a calming rest and returning to your seated position. And as she continues to recount the details of what had taken place, the two partake in tea, while we turn our attention to another adventure. What are Ziz, Seven, or Alistair currently filling their morning hours with?
Ziz, while he has a little bit of time, just really wants to head to the workshop and see if there's any little project that's just been left undone that he can try to wrap up or make improvements to, or just things he hasn't had time to do recently.
All right. Taking the lift, descending down to the workshops below, you head to where you know Silas diligently works away on the various divinous frames currently being restored. And upon entering, you see him currently working on the frame he had designated for himself. He attempts to, from what you can see, be removing the power cell that the party had installed earlier. And upon noticing you enter, he kind of smiles. Oh, Ziz, hello. Could you do me a favor? Could you grab that hammer over there? And he points to one of the nearby workbenches, several feet away from where he's currently perched.
And he goes and grabs it actually pretty quickly and brings it on over. Like, oh, thank God. I need to work with my hands today. It's been too long. I haven't been able to do anything recently, it feels like.
He smiles, taking the hammer from you as he reaches down from his elevated perch, before hammering violently into the sides of one of the brackets, kind of holding the capacitor in place, and then giving it a healthy tug, yanking it from its housing. Well, you can help me install this thingy. in one of the other divinists. I've recently come up with a design that I can use. This, gesturing to his arm, as a stand-in power source. So, that'll free this battery up for one of the others. And, if you have the time, there is a little project I've been thinking about. If we manage to get some of the workers to dig a chute into the bottom of Aurora, perhaps we can use that as a launching point for those drop pods that we had mentioned just yesterday.
And he's mulling it over, but well, I could definitely try, but with everything going on, the workers are spread really thin. Might
Yes,
be
I
asking a bit
imagine.
much of them.
Very true. Perhaps we can hire on some of the civilians to do it in their place. We only need them to do the digging. The rest we can figure out on our own once the engineers are available. Just an idea throwing out for the future. But with that said, if you're feeling the itch to craft something, I'd be more than happy to give you a hand once I finish up with this.
He nods and just stands there with his arms crossed, just looking at Silas like, you know, I'm not just gonna let you have all the fun, right? What do you need?
Okay. Give me a Arcana check and a sleight of hand.
Oh, good lord.
Don't worry, the
Okay.
DC on the sleight of hand is pretty low.
So is a sleight of hand skill. Let's see. He said Arcana and sleight of hand. Where is it?
As
Okay,
expected.
good. Oh boy.
Hey!
You know what? You know what? I'll take it.
And after getting some quick rundown over what Silas is currently doing and what his intention is, the two of you work together to shift the capacitor over to one of the still barren frames and begin setting up to connect it to the device. Silas, with his haphazard handling of the capacitor, nearly damages it, but fortunately, thanks to Ziz and his apt guidance and firm understanding of the capacitor's various compositions, the two are able to easily fix the new capacitor to the frame, making one of the newer Jovians available as soon as it's fully kitted. Wiping his brow, Silas turns to Ziz. Why, thank you. This should help speed things along quite a bit. So, what do you want to work on next?
He just kind of just looks around like so many things I feel like we've started and haven't finished. I'm sure we could find something and actually get things done with it, huh?
Quite right. Well, perhaps some weaponry. Maybe some point defense weaponry that we can use to help defend the city from assailing. We haven't really worked on any heavy firepower since Bertha, and these days, the Grim is constantly in varying states of disrepair. So, we can't rely on Bertha consistently for our larger engagements. What say you we design a new weapon?
Well, it's definitely long overdue. Why not?
There's any number of designs we could come up with. What did you think? Guns? Cannons? A bomb?
Well, as much as I like things that blow up, I really don't know if we should keep one where we also have, houses.
Oh,
But,
going back to that idea I had posited earlier, we could use that as a bombing chute, as well as a drop pod.
And he just kind of stops mid-sentence in what he was saying and ponders that very heavily.
With some
you
proper
make a really good point.
With some proper construction, we can reinforce it, protect it from any potential mishaps in the process, and contain any damage that could happen should anything go wrong. We've got plenty of resources. I made sure to stock up on all the ores we could need before we set off from New Barovia.
Sounds like we've got a couple good long-term goals here. Well, longer term. The guns, how many would you want? We could place them around the city, cover all sides. But how long would that take?
Well, if we can pull some extra hands from the civilian populace, then maybe we could have roughly 10 done by the week's end? Maybe? Depends on how well things go with the training of our new contractors. But I'm willing to take some time away from my work to help in the endeavor. I've always been told I'm a decent teacher.
Yeah, the two of us together, I'm sure we could at least have competent hands.
My thinking exactly.
Different branches of military.
Perhaps we devise a branch of military expressly to the development of weapons and arms. If we are going to raise an army, they're going to need weapons.
And this sly smirk comes across his face. It's just sounding a lot like a lab with a couple extra steps.
You're not wrong. So, what say you?
When I got up today, I wasn't expecting to hear something like this, and now I'm surprised I didn't think of it myself.
Alright. Well, let's set to work drawing up some blueprints. Any idea of what kind of cannons we should be designing?
Well, given all the things that have been coming after us lately, we definitely shouldn't skimp out. Anything that we can make them effective towards, I feel like we should.
I can easily design some specialty rounds for the cannons.
Ballistic, kinetic, magical, we'll probably need it all.
Alright. Then let's see if we can get some concepts down. Give me One sec. Give me another Arcana check.
Whoa! Cool. Man, I don't even think I should bother pimping luck
Sheesh.
on that. Does it matter?
Ah,
Ah, God, I don't really think so.
nah. But you know what? We are doing this together. So go ahead and roll with advantage.
Hey.
Oh.
Oh, well. You know what? I don't see anywhere where. Oh, it's my reaction. I do. Okay, so it is only one time. Well, you know what? Let. I'm gonna fail less bad.
Fair enough. Give me a D4.
It's always one. You son of a bitch.
You set yourself up, man.
My last, I think 5 or 6 D4s have all been one.
No, you got a 4. You actually got a 4 when but it was me who rolled it.
Okay, now host advantage. That's what that is.
All right.
Oh Lord.
So as the two of you pore over the various designs, the two of you struggle to really settle on anything specific. How about give me an insight roll to see how well you can help guide the development of the specialty rounds at least. Let's see if we can at least get something from that. Give me it with advantage.
Anything to keep me from trying to draw up a plan with a wrench like I'm doing now, apparently.
23. Wow, and a 22 on top of it. They were like, yeah, no, we'll give you this one.
You know what? I'll thank you. the die has more than 4 sides, so I'm allowed to roll well. Except those last ones.
Being highly aware of the intrinsic fundamentals of magic, you making the suggestion earlier that the cannons should be multi-applicable, suggests that the rounds contain a charge of smoke powder and be branded with a magical enchantment, enhancing not only the piercing properties of the round, but that they might explode on impact, yielding a greater destructive force. And as a result, you have successfully helped formulate elemental cannon rounds.
That sounds like we're gonna blow some shit up. Ooh.
And the concept for them has been drawn up.
Nice.
The two of you, satisfied with your work, take a step back from the blueprints and kind of admire your work. You know, Ziz, you've got quite the proficiency with arms development. You ever thought of going into it a little bit more, I don't know, seriously?
Sure, it's not a far cry from the stuff I usually do.
Yes, I imagine.
I've never really found the time to sit down and learn it all, especially not with everything that's gone on since I've been dragged along here.
A fair point.
As he says that, he kind of just gives him a little elbow in the ribs, like, It's fine now. I was mad for a while, but not anymore. You know.
He's like, hey, what can I say? It's not every day that you get brought together by an interdimensional journey, wrenching you from your own world and casting you into a despotic new one. Bonded trauma.
Well, at least on the bright side, looking back on it, I did get to break up our table that day. Little victories, right?
True, very true. So, given that that was such a phenomenal suggestion and idea that we were able to formulate earlier, I think I'll take a break from the workshop for once and go head out and see the people. See if I can't get any bites. The more engineers we have available, the better.
That's a good idea. We need to make sure, with everything going on, we need to make sure everybody's still at least reasonably comfortable on top of that. And if there's any engineers out there among the people, they'll be more in tune with it than any of us are right now.
Quite right.
Age of Empire 6.
And with a playful punch in the shoulder. I'll see you later, Ziz. Silas tips his hat, turns, and hops the lift up to the residential area where he might be able to recruit some people.
Let's see, Zis does not take damage from the punch.
Noodly arm boy.
He do be noodle armed. He doesn't have the lift, but he does have like the hit me. So somewhat.
Left to your own devices in the workshop. Is there anything else Ziz seeks to do?
Hmm. Nothing concrete yet, but potentially something that I will contact you about later once I have it more planned out, I think.
You got it. Sounds good to me. That leaves us with Seven and Alistair. How are you spending your morning?
Falling out of whatever bed I fell asleep in, hitting the floor with the loud cat sounding thud.
I like to imagine that instead of a thud, it's just a very loud meow.
Getting up, scratching my ass, complaining that it's too damn bright at whatever time this is. Checks watch. 6 a.m. question mark.
Now I just feel attacked.
Walking over to wherever food-related stash I have in the general vicinity, picking up an apple,
Okay.
eating it.
So pretty much, Seven, resting idly in his cat tree haven aboard the Grim Kindness within his personal quarters, he absent-mindedly slips from one of the branches and falls to the ground with a heavy thud. Disgruntled by this rude awakening, climbs to his feet, scratching his posterior, and leaves his quarters to go raid the mess hall aboard the Grim Kindness. Finding an apple, he bites in, satisfied by the sweetness of the fruit. What does he do?
Look out the window, or go to whatever porthole. Look out the window.
You see the hangar bay slowly returning back to its level of activity that it had prior to the incident. And you hear the idle banging of hammers on wood as the repairs to the Grim Kindness are worked on. You can hear shipwrights outside calling to one another.
Oh, well, since everyone else is busy, might as well use this time to train.
You head down to one of the lower decks, the Grim Kindness. Moving to the nose of the vessel, you navigate with experienced familiarity, and then enter what appears to be a training dojo in the fore of the ship. Immediately, you set to work working through a rigorous training regimen, performing all manner of exercise and various kata.
Bear turtle, Venus. And that's probably how I'm gonna spend the next however many 5 hours.
All right. I gotcha. And Alistair?
Alistair's probably just gonna go figure out if there's any way to. He's gonna train to start not getting so exhausted while using his abilities. See if that's a possibility.
In reference to what ability specifically?
His frenzy attack with his berserk.
Ah, okay. So
Taking up
I got
levels
you.
of exhaustion.
I got you. All right. Now, you have a few options of places that you could go to train. The Little Lights Training Yard, aboard the Grim Kindness, and just in your personal quarters, I suppose.
Training alone's boring. I'll go to the Little Lights.
You head up to the top layer of the city, taking the earthen path that you had used to get to the interior of Aurora on your initial arrival. And remembering the set of buildings you had passed, you retrace your steps and happen across the rather haphazardly designed training yard. It's surprisingly empty, though sounds can be heard from within the main building, alluding to several individuals inside. Seeing that you have the opportunity, you set to work. And it takes very little time before the sounds of your rigorous training regimen draw the attention of those within the main building.
Getting some deja vu here.
One by one, several of the varying age-ranged children leave the mess hall, each dressed within the same matching uniforms. Of them, one of them appears to be somewhat familiar. A young man with a sword at his hip looks on from the rest. He appears to be, from what you could tell, one of the oldest amongst them. And as he approaches the edge of the fence where you are currently working your way through one of the training dummies, a task that is proving to be very little effort, you see him kind of look on with a rather impressed expression, a mild look of adoration as he looks and watches your displays of strength and endurance, before eventually piping up. He says, "You look very strong, sir."
Why, thank you. Going to overhead press the dummy.
He kind of chuckles as he watches the comical display of strength. How'd you get so strong, mister?
Practicing, I ate my vegetables. Lots of vegetables.
The young man nods sagely.
And, you know, 10,000 confirmed kills.
A look of both surprise, skepticism, and a little bit of childlike excitement at the mention of 10,000 confirmed kills. 10,000? What's your name, mister?
Alistair. I'm from Waterdeep. Deep water. What the fuck is it? It's deep water, right? I fucked it up.
It's Waterdeep. You got it right.
Waterdeep. Fuck.
Water weep.
Waterland. Waterworld.
Water park.
Really? Thought you'd be really famous with that many kills under your belt. Did you fight in a war?
War on crime, kind of. More of a war on cults, you know, a little bit of everything. There was the Knoll infestation, a little ways north near the Sword Mountains, campaign near the Mire of Dead Men, and up near Neverwinter even.
Wow. That's really
What?
impressive, mister.
Well, you know, with age comes, you know, experience, and with experience comes strength, so one day you'll get there too.
He kind of smiles a little bit. I'm training real hard with another warrior. They look actually kind of like you. Though, a lot smaller. They're pretty strong too.
Small dragonborn?
Think that or a kobold.
Distant cousins, yes. Both equally strong, though. Come, would you like to practice with me?
He, for a moment, hesitates. You see him kind of like shift backwards at the prospect of fighting you. But then stops for a moment. You see him kind of collect himself. Just sure.
He's got a sword right now, right?
A blunted sword, yes.
Blunted sword.
It's a training one.
I'll look at his, I'm gonna inspect his sword. Try this, and I'm gonna hand him my Vorpal Greatsword.
As you hand the sword over to the young man, he kind of fumbles to hold it at his handle, surprised by its weight, but he manages to get a grip on it, taking a moment to adjust. Whoa. I've never held a sword like this before.
Very rare, this one is. Good practice, though. Eventually, you'll get a sword like this one day. Here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna try and hit me. And I'm gonna try and dodge out of the way until either you hit me or you're out of stamina. How's that sound?
He nods.
All right. Go ahead, try and hit me.
He takes a moment, readjusting his grip on the weapon as he kind of feels out the weight for it. And once comfortable, he hops over the fence, brandishes the sword, and holds it level. A little bit bigger than what I'm used to, but here goes nothing. One sec. Here goes nothing.
Please don't nat 20.
I know, right? He holds the sword level, leaps forward, and swings in a wide arc. Not with advantage. Hang on, let me turn that off. A lot of my NPCs are set to auto roll. Okay, so 15. Does a 15 hit?
Nope.
Dodges the first one. He swings the second one. What wrong one? Well, nah, you know, it just slapped 2 onto that. It would still be a 9.
Nope.
Seeing the ineffectiveness of his assault, he repositions, levels the sword again, and comes back in with 3 quick sweeps. I'll say he hits with the last one, yeah. And as he brings the sword up, Alistair quickly dodges to the left, backsteps to dodge the second. And in that moment, Ronald leaps forward with the greatsword in hand and thrusts, nicking the side of Alistair as he quickly readjusts the angle of the blade in an attempt to avoid impaling the Dragonborn. And seeing the drawn blood, he excitedly drops the sword and begins leaping up and down. I did it! I did it! I did it!
I'm gonna cheer him on. Yes, very nice, very nice.
He quickly turns back around. Say, Mr. Alistair, could I
Yes,
train with you in the future?
Of course.
And
He's
he's
trained with me while I'm still alive.
He's practically beaming with pride and excitement at the prospects of training with Alistair. And after a moment, catches himself, rushing over to pick the sword up off the ground and returning it back to Alistair properly. Thank you.
As he does this,
Go ahead.
I'm gonna hand him my old great axe that I had originally before the Tarrasque one.
He takes
It's
the axe in
yours.
hand. Absolutely, completely taken aback. Do you really mean it?
Yeah. One day you'll be really good at using these. You'll be able to hit with every shot.
And with a expression of absolute glee, he holds the haft of the weapon close to his chest. I'll practice with it every day, sir.
Good. Only way you're gonna improve.
He nods before hopping the fence and beginning to depart, but not before turning back and smiling, offering a exuberant wave.
Yeah, I'm gonna wave back.
All right. As the day goes on, our various party members busy at work in preparation for their arrival to the Dalelands in the following day. The golden light of the evening sun peeking over the mountains to the west. We approach the Desert Mouth Mountains. And as they meander along, listlessly bobbing through the sky, fuck, wrong song. The
Oh
sun
boy, our favorite track.
The sun falls over the horizon, and night comes. The trip through the mountain peaks is uneventful, quiet and peaceful. The brisk cold air at this altitude, creating frost along the base and sides of buildings. And as the trip, some hours in, suddenly a loud bang erupts across the entirety of Aurora. A tremor shakes it violently, followed by another and another. Confusion and panic begins to rack the city as the inhabitants within, completely unaware as to what is actually going on, begin to run to and fro, drawing the attention of the various unlikely few who are aboard. Stirred from whatever activities they find themselves contending with, they leave their respective areas, looking about at the panicked people, before another violent bang shocks and rocks the city. As this takes place, you hear over the sending stone a concerned Silas. What the bloody hell is going on?
See, this is exactly why we needed more security measures built.
Uh, it wasn't me. I didn't do anything this time, I swear.
Is there any sort of method of surveying around the exterior of Aurora? Through like remote means or some such?
As you consider this, you see in the distance a raven flying through the hallway, its head moving to and fro as if looking for something, before coming to a hovering rest several feet above you and touching down, landing on your arm. It then speaks in a voice uncannily like a human. Mistress Roko, it appears that we're being attacked by a fortress down below. Upon hearing the crow or the raven speak, you quickly realize that this must be an Order of the Feather. A member of the Order of the Feather. You remember them?
I do, sort of. It's somewhere in my notes.
They're the
Long ago.
long ago, in a distant land, I,
see.
shape-shifting master of darkness, Strahd von Zarovich, kept a scrutinous eye on the land through an order lycanthropes known as the Order of the Feather. A collection of were-ravens who acted as agents and spies on behalf of the Dark Lord. And when given a moment of freedom, an opportunity to break from subservience to him, they eagerly took it, working instead as agents for the Unlikely Few and Seven Saviors. You had mentioned several months ago, no, not several months ago, but several weeks ago, that the group should commission the Order of the Feather as a surveillance force for the city. And Silas, having come to terms with recent events, followed through. Took some time for their members to populate the city, but a good portion of it is now under the watchful eye of the Order.
First of all, well done. Secondly, do not refer to me as mistress. It's weird.
The bird kind of squawks before flying up in a huff of feathers. As you wish. I will go alert the others.
Please do.
The bird flaps off in a hurry. One by one, various members of the Unlikely Few are approached by the same similar were-ravens, coming to inform them of the assault taking place on the city below. From the city below, rather. It takes a time, but the party is eventually able to convene together, making it into the hangar. You look to each other once more. Another violent explosion rocks the city.
Please tell me we have some sort of contingency plan.
Silas turns to Ziz. Is the barrier available to activate?
Let's see. He contemplates this while I actually try to remember. I believe it is, isn't it?
Yep. With the 2 capacitors that can hook up to the backup system nearby it as well.
Yeah, I thought so. I'm pretty sure we set that up and then left it there just in case.
Yep.
It was Ziz and Silas, I think, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. That is good.
They had to mull it over for a minute, and then nods at Silas and says, "You know, pretty sure we left everything right where we needed it just in case. Remember?"
Yes, you're right. I'll give a call over to Youth. Maybe she can activate the barrier. In the meantime, what are we gonna do about this cannon fire, whatever it is attacking us?
First of all, why would there be a fortress underneath us attacking? This isn't some sort of border dispute, is it?
Hell if I know, I didn't even know there was anything here in the mountains.
A troubling lack of information.
Well, we can't just let them continue to bombard us. What do we do?
Allow me to survey.
As you make your way to the edge of the hangar, you use one of your various devices, a small probe pulled from your pack, and toss it into the air. A small humming sound can be heard from it as it begins to float before moving outside of the hangar gateway and out into the open air above. Or, yonder. The eye turns its gaze downward, and it struggles to see through the low lighting. But you are able to peer and see the small pinpricks of light alluding to the position of the cannons firing from below.
Move it down for a closer inspection.
The range, unfortunately, only has 30 feet.
Yeah, that's fine.
We're several hundred feet up.
Right. There is no limit to how far away it can move, though.
Oh yeah, I see that now. Yeah, I didn't catch that last part. Good call. Okay, yeah. You go ahead and attempt to have the eye descend as the probe moves further and further down to get a better viewpoint at the assailing forces below. And it takes some time, but after several moments, the eye is able to focus on the fortress below, and it sees what looks to be a castle built into the mountain. But it's currently being manned at the exterior gates by roll perception. Or not perception, I'd say roll insight.
Insight. Oof, if you say so, boss.
They look to be humanoid. Two specific kinds. One of a shorter grouping and one of a taller grouping. Perhaps if you bring the eye closer, you might be able to get a better look. But this risks its exposure. Oh wait, no, it's invisible.
Yeah.
Never mind. Yep. Alright.
Computer enhance.
You descend the eye even further, and eventually are able to see what look to be goblins and orcs, as well as a pair of hill giants manning the gateway to the fortress. And they appear to be also utilizing siege equipment, firing up at the city, floating several hundred feet above.
Right then, we appear to be assaulted by the classic fantastical creatures known as goblins and orcs, and two particularly substantially sized, still orcish-like. What would you call them? I am not privy to all the creatures of this world. I believe you use a very mundane term to describe a creature relating to size.
Well, what do they look like? And you give a perfect accounting of exactly what the hill giants look like, making it easy for anybody hearing said description to ascertain the exact description of what you're talking about, or nature of the creature that you're talking about. Oh. What? Why the hell would... Well, what do you all want to do about this? If we don't do something soon, I don't know how much more the city can take of this.
Well, considering how utterly primitive these creatures look, I believe diplomacy is out of the table. Although I do hate to resort to violence immediately, I do believe that is necessary.
Violence, you say? They're human-sized, right? They're not giant, not like fucking...
They are
Big
literally
old-
giants, Catman.
Well,
In
fact-
fact, it's in their name.
what you're saying is they're still
According to my
punchable.
codex, they are literally translated to hill giant. It's exactly as mundane as I feared.
So, what you're saying is still punchable.
Question.
Theoretically, yes. What is a Ziz and or the player of Ziz?
Yeah, oh.
I'm speaking through in the fourth wall.
Oh god, that's too many walls. If we settle on violence, I would like to prepare something specifically before we get on the ground. Just putting that out there. Well, in fact, you know what? Actually, Ziz looks to everybody as they're talking. Well, sounds like we might not have a choice then. Are we all resolved to do this?
Yes. Protector roll initiated.
And he, say he looks again. Like, one more time. I need to know, are we doing this? Because if so, I'm gonna do something, but it's not something I can really take back, so I need to know that we're doing this for sure.
How catastrophic, hypothetically, is your plan? More importantly, to which specified entities is this hazardous to?
And he mulls it over a little bit, and then with just like a little matter of fact, the stereotypical, hold the finger up as he's explaining things. Like, well, only things on the ground, really.
Roko's going to use the eye to look around the surroundings of this attack and making sure there's nothing incidental that could be problematic.
In fact, do me a favor and scope out, if you can, we'll say, theoretically, a couple 100 feet each way.
That's a distance, and is to be considered the onslaught of this attack that does not have us borrowed time to spare.
As you peer through the eye, you're able to kind of see the layout of the approaching pathway into the fort.
Several numbers stationed at various ballistae.
This here looks like it's under a roof. If
Yeah.
this door is any indication. Alright, gotcha.
Very well. Then I say you may proceed, as I don't see anything that I could account as civilian-like.
He nods, and very quickly, this is gonna be a little meta for us. These distances that I'm seeing here, are these accurate?
Yes, but there is a lack of accounting for elevation,
Okay.
which probably adds like maybe an extra little couple bit of footage. You know what I mean?
Right. And how far above this are we currently?
We're currently listing to a height of about 200 feet above them.
And one more question. Do I have clear line of sight of all of this? Or, of the...
If you were to go to the edge of the hangar, you would be able to peer down below, yes.
Is it possible for me to be the one to initiate combat when we get close enough? It's like before, like a sneak attack kind of, I don't know. Is there anything I can do to initiate that? Just, I don't want us to be on the ground when I do this.
Oh, for sure, yeah, I suppose.
I'm sure you know, because you know my sheet, they don't.
Yeah, okay. I get what you're going for. All right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So, what you can do, it's just a hypothetical, if this is a plan that you guys are interested in, is you can have the party drop down further down the path, like down this way, right? Down over this way. And then you can, do the damn thing over this way type, you know what I mean?
Right.
It should, with the accounting for elevation, be safe enough for the party without them getting hurt.
And,
So-
okay.
Because if you use it here, combat initiates now, and you guys are kind of up in the air.
True. I guess it would need to be... That's the thing. I want to use it when I can't... I don't want us to be open to counterattack, but... I need line of sight, too. Ew!
Nothing's that simple.
Okay. While the party discusses their next game plan, I'm gonna take a quick pee-pee break. It shouldn't take me more than like a few minutes. When I swing back, we will proceed forward.
Righto.
So, just hypothetically speaking, do we have a way of making people float?
Well, I think there's a good number of us.
I know Youth has reverse gravity, but she's not here.
We can still use her body.
Yay, NPC powers.
Pog!
Because obviously Silas and Roko have their methods. Gandiva? Question mark? Or am I mistaking her for someone else that has flight?
Chiquita has flight, but Chiquita's not here.
Probably doesn't want to be anywhere near Roko right now at this point too.
I'm wondering. Maybe I'm overthinking
can-
this.
You can just like. So.
So when we come in for a landing, like I'm assuming we're just gonna be like, hey, where are we dropping, right?
Yeah, Fortnite.
Wouldn't it just? So I just need to worry about 100-foot radius.
To towers.
Okay, I just need to worry about 100 feet. So.
Okay, if we just drop in Tomato Town.
I
So,
can
like-
take 2 on my carpet.
Oh yeah, you. have
Oh,
carpet. I forgot.
do.
Me and someone else.
Yeah, I'm
or,
glad you remember that.
Yeah, it'll either be me
Wow.
and someone else or to
Silas has Featherfall, so he'll be fine. I think.
whoever.
So long as he can keep holding on to his hat.
Hold on to his hat
Oh.
for 200 feet.
See,
Also-
what I'm thinking is if we were to drop, like, if people were to drop it, like, there, like, far away from the center, then by the time my thing expires, then we would have had time to actually get around,
I have speak with animals.
Oh my god, we can like. Okay, we could flex on them, and hopefully scare them, and then recruit them into our army.
Diplomacy?
But
With
you see,
these filthy degenerates?
Yeah, we can just enslave them.
Also, quick important question. It's clearly been well over 8 hours that have passed, right? Since the morning's activities? Because Silas mentioned it's now nighttime.
he's going pee-pee.
Because
I'm back. What was that?
Okay, so it's been well over 8 hours past, right?
Yes.
Good, because Roko's still sitting at 47 HP.
Oh, no.
yeah. Go ahead and restore yourself.
Thank you.
Sorry, so here's a thought. Marcus brought it up. Yes. If the party were to drop somewhere, more than 100 feet away from where I target this, and I'm just with 7 on his carpet above when I launch it, that would work, right? And everybody would be safe except for all the things that I want to be not safe?
So you want to pretty much bomb from the carpet, an elevation above, while the party is a distance away.
That's my plan. I don't know if anybody else has anything better.
Well, as Gandiva mentioned, Silas does have Featherfall, and as a result, could potentially make his way down safely.
Roko literally has winged boots.
Youth is currently in position and awaiting the signal to activate the barrier. Once it's activated, objects will not be able to pass through or into the city, essentially locking it down from the outside, or the inside rather.
Good old instance barrier before the fight. Gotcha.
Oh yeah, how we getting back up after we go down?
And once the attack has ceased, we should hopefully be able to signal the barrier to go back down, yes?
Right. And then we can have an airship drop down and rendezvous with our position.
Precisely.
Okay.
Well, what is it then? Is this proposes whatever crazy, chaotic magic he possesses to sweep them all clean?
He's just
Gandiva, on the other
nod.
hand,
Rapid nodding.
Gandiva, on the other hand, suggests that they could be persuaded to join our cause, which I frankly find improbable. Who is Frank? I don't understand the weird dialects you people have.
I don't know, but his hot sauce is excellent.
I have to agree. It's quite delectable.
Yes.
I shall politely pass on that.
You know, it's said they can put it on everything. Sponsor us. Anyway,
Please.
yeah.
Anyway,
Silas looks to the party. So, good plan. Ziz and Seven will approach from above using Seven's carpet, and we will drop in a distance away. We'll wait for the signal from Ziz to begin our approach, and potentially stop their bombardment. From there, we'll figure out our next move.
Very well.
Alright. Now give me a moment while I prep the map really quickly.
Whips out the carpet in the meantime.
dust it off real quick. You know, give it a couple smacks.
So he's gonna, so as Seven's dusting off the carpet, Ziz walks over to him and is like, so, you're the one that likes punching stuff, right? You, like,
Yes. Punch?
so, take it that means you like breaking stuff, right?
Yes. Yes.
He just gets a big smirk on his face. Like, oh, I think you're gonna like what you're gonna help me with.
Hell, you do. Well, actually, tell me where to go. Dude, you fucking flying thing, but you get.
The important thing is, they can't shoot me for. We'll give them a few seconds at least before they've got bigger problems on their mind.
Gotcha.
And however far away you need to be, it'll be fine. I'll make it work.
Bear turtle.
Reading stuff intensifies.
Yeah. Oh god.
Alrighty.
Like, this is gonna be a shit show, but it's gonna be a glorious shit show.
So, as the party, with their plan set in motion, decides to make their move, 7 unrolls his magic carpet and climbs aboard it with Ziz in tow, as the other members of the party approach the edge of the hangar bay entrance. Silas takes Gandiva in hand and casts Levitate on himself. Oh, not on himself, on Alistair. Before asking Gandiva to turn into her bow form.
Oh shit. I forgot about that.
What a practical solution.
Here we go.
Once everybody is prepared, Silas leaps from the hangar bay as Ziz and 7 fly out like a rocket from the entrance.
Coco follows suit in a similar fashion.
Yep. The descent is arduous, as ballista bolts, catapult debris, and cannon fire scatter and litter the sky around you as you descend. It takes a while, but eventually you manage to touch down, and as soon as you're clear of the city, Ziz calls over the sending stone for you to activate the barrier. The sky is cast aglow with an azure light as the barrier forms around the city, its surface inscribed with magic array. Eventually, the approaching group touches down as the flying carpet pulls into position. You are quickly spotted by the nearby enemies as they call to one another, rousing them. You are given a moment to act. What does Ziz do?
So, you know what? Just to get around any weirdness that they might try, we're gonna. Oh boy. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and make this a quicken spell. If that's possible. If that's
What's the spell?
viable.
What's the spell again?
Are you ready for a wall of text?
Yeah, hit me with it.
Okay.
Earthquake. Okay. You create a seismic disturbance at a point on the ground that you can see within range. For the duration, an intense tremor rips through the ground in a 100-foot radius circle centered on the point that shakes creatures and structures in contact with the ground in that area. The ground in the area becomes difficult terrain. Each creature on the ground that is concentrating must make a concentration saving throw. On a failed save, the creature's concentration is broken. When you cast the spell at the end of each of your turns, spend concentrating on it. Each creature on the ground in the area must make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, they are thrown prone. And of course, there's the spicy things that happen as a result.
Yeah.
Fissures open throughout the spell's area at the start of your next turn if you cast the spell. A total of 1d6 such fissures open in locations chosen by the GM. Whew. Each of the 1d10 times 10 feet deep. Each of them is, excuse me, what is with my words today? I can't read for shit. And extends to the edge of the spell's area to the opposite side. Creature standing on a spot where a fissure opens must succeed or fall in. They move to a fissure's edge as it opens. Structures beneath. Oh man.
There's a reason I wanted everybody to be able to float. Or otherwise not touch the ground. Or, you know, be able to attack from outside the range of this.
And I'm imagining you're centering it.
The center is going to be right here.
You got it. Okay.
The only things that I believe that doesn't encompass are these guys right over here.
Yep, makes sense.
Because there's just no way to get them without making everything unsafe. I figured you'd have fun with this too, because you get to choose where the fissures open up.
Oh boy.
Just as part of this, just as part of the spell, you get to choose where that opens.
All right. So, the earth begins to rock violently as Ziz taps into his arcane prowess. Utilizing one of his most potent spells, the sigil on his forehead begins to glow. It's the marking of Maestra activates. And as the shaking grows to a crescendo, holy fuck. I want everybody to roll initiative, please.
I'm sorry in advance for all of those deck saves you have to throw.
It's absolutely okay.
But, you know, it's fun.
You wanted to send the result of this roll to the turn tracker, but no valid.
Just ignoring that.
Oh no, the same thing happened to me. Gasp.
Oh,
Gaps.
Okie doke. Give me a moment while I set up initiative.
bear turn.
So something weird I noticed is that the character sheets now have a field labeled as creature type, where all of your other little information is on top. So that's supposed to help distinguish between like a humanoid and animal creature, stuff like that.
Not quite sure. Might have something to do with the recent books that came out, or with D&D. I still have to look into it a little bit. I've been like a full-time bender with stuff I've been working on.
Yeah.
All right. With initiative tracked, combat ready to begin, Silas is the first to act. He sets Gandiva down, telling her to return to her normal state when she's ready. Before hugging the staircase on its right side and attempting to ascend.
So as Silas starts to make his way up, you just hear Ziz call out from his, we'll call it his perch right now on the carpet, focusing on the spell. Like, don't get too close yet. This is only gonna get worse.
He calls back.
Yep. This is my nightmare. This is my nightmare.
Hopefully it's theirs too. Just be careful.
He's gonna draw Innocence and Ready in Action to shoot at any targets that come into range. We then turn to the goblins.
Goblins. My God. Goblins on my Delta flight from Atlanta to Houston.
I'm tired of this motherfucking goblin on my motherfucking plane of existence.
Wait a minute. Samuel L. Jackson, Planeswalker.
Yes.
Oh God, he'd be great to cast just like as Teferi after he's had enough of everyone's shit. He might be the hero of Dominaria, but he'll gladly be the kicker of your ass too.
The two goblins just below Ziz and Seven load their crossbows and attempt to fire from below. One aims for Ziz and one aims for Seven.
Whoa, we got company.
How dare!
All right. Does a 16 hit on Seven?
Question mark. What am I? What
What's your AC?
Oh, 17.
Okay, it
No.
misses. Yeah.
Sick.
And two crossbow bolts whiz by your heads, whistling as they do so before flying off into the distance and disappearing into the darkness. Alistair, it is your move. Did we lose him?
Did he fall asleep at the
My microphone is muted. One second. Okay.
Oh no.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I see you doing your measuring.
Yeah, I'm gonna get up right next to Silas with my 40-foot movement.
Bet.
And then, do I have line of sight with any of these goblins?
No, not yet.
Alright, in that case, I don't think I can do anything but use my other action. Yeah, I'm just gonna use my dash. Get to... Yeah. I'll play distraction. Go up here. Do a little jig. Look at me, everyone, look at me. Act like a fool real quick.
Bear turtle.
Do a little jig, you know.
All right.
Wait, bonus action rage.
You got it.
Almost forgot I was a barbarian.
And Alistair charges forward past Silas. With intention and fury in his heart, axe held aloft, he closes the distance to get as close to the goblins as he can, hoping to play distraction and point for the party. All right. Ziz, it's the moment of truth.
Yeah, boy. Well, you know, I think there's going to be a little bit of merit to just spending the turn concentrating on keeping that earthquake going.
All right. Do you end your turn?
Yeah.
You got it. And as the spell approaches its crescendo,
Oh,
the
ah,
violent tremors growing more intense, rocks, debris, and bricks begin to shake. Okay. Wowee. So that's gonna be...
Real quick, I actually forgot one thing I wanted to do just before that. Or I guess just before the end of my turn. It's no big deal.
Yeah. Go ahead. I was just counting how many enemies there were.
Oh, it was just I realized I forgot to put up mage armor, so I was just gonna quicken spell it.
Oh yeah. No worries.
As always.
All
Now
right.
go ahead and eat my spell slot for that. Caw.
This is about to get spicy.
Uh-huh. I'm looking forward to it. Oh, good lord. I just
Okay.
That's a lot
slowed
nice.
the dice.
Spell save DC of 17.
Oh, really? 17?
Yep.
Wonder why it's not using my normal 18. Weird.
Let me take a look and see. Hold on.
I'm sure it's right. Must be. It's just very odd.
No, yeah, it should be. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. It should be 18. Never mind.
Oh, neat.
I don't know why it's doing... don't worry. I'm going over sheets strenuously this week. Because I've gotten a lot of my other projects done now. So, and I have a lot of sheets I have to get done anyway. Which, speaking of which, little fun fact for those of you who might not have noticed it. Just above the Stationed in Aurora tab.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yep, they have officially got sheets now.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So, give me a moment while I calculate how many of these guys are fucked.
Oh, real quick, because I can. As everything's shaking and, their entire world is falling apart around them, the goblins that fired at us, I want this to just kind of lean over, taunting them. And you see, it's even more effective because he can do it in their language.
You, oh my god. Talking shit to them in Goblin.
Hell yeah. Hell yes.
All right. So give me one moment.
Specifically, I don't know. This is what you get for shooting at us, assholes. I think I'm just now looking over all of these dice. I think I'm just now realizing the implications of what's happened.
Yep. Not even gonna lie, this was a great move.
God,
This is a really great move.
That's an absolute shit show. I love it.
Pretty much 11 of them pass. Everybody else failed.
Yeah, that's. Oh boy. All while shouting goblin obscenities. It's the morning. It hadn't even been. Nobody's had anything to drink yet, and we're already ruining things. It's a great day. I don't even think Alistair's had anything to drink. That guy loves to drink.
No.
You're
What do you
thinking
think
of
I'm doing right
kindness.
after this?
Oh no.
I was just going straight to the brothel and getting drunk.
Hell yeah. You know him by name now.
Daily Coomer.
Man with the most epic maiden dance.
Facts.
Does he do, as popularized by 1990s and early 2000s Atlanta Falcons football teams, the Dirty Bird trademark?
Probably.
Man, if you've never seen the Dirty Bird, you should look that up. It's the dumbest celebration dance I've ever seen. and by God, did we latch onto that in Georgia. Kids did that. I did that at school growing up. It was a phenomenon.
It was like Fortnite day before
That's
Fortnite.
exactly what it was, except done by people who had just leveled the shit out of somebody on a football field. It was great.
Dancing.
Oh, it was. Oh man. probably around before that. That's just the earliest I remember it. It's still dumb. Still good.
I'm curious. Is the grease conjured by the spell grease flammable?
Yes.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
I'm thinking about stuff now.
Holy shit, okay. All but 11 of them are now prone.
I'm sorry, but also, that's fun.
Now for the spicy part. Fissures! Yay! Let's see how many open. 1 fissure opens.
It's a confirmation. Just the all those ballistas and everything. Those would be considered structures for the taking bludgeoning
Yes,
damage too, right?
yes,
Okay.
they do.
Thank God. Oh man, that would have been a punt and a half. That's half the reason I decided on Earthquake. That and the things that looked like they were under structures, so it's you know, collapsorific. Well, they're screwed.
Ah. Okay. All right.
Well,
Yep. So now we're going to conclude that whole situation real quick.
Oh,
As the ground trembles, rocks, and writhes, the stone begins to hew and crack. Fissures begin to snake their way across the battlefield as a massive rift tears open into the mountain, swallowing up 5 of the enemy troops currently working to defend this fortress. We turn then to Gandiva.
And when the ground opens up, he just kind of looks at Seven with a grin and it's like, yeah, he told you you'd like it.
Oh. Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna approach cautiously up behind. Sorry, let's stay close to that. We can just pour on each other.
Gotcha. Gandiva shifts back into her humanoid form and quickly rushes up the staircase after Silas, hoping to stay close. Do you dash so you can clear the whole distance? Because how much movement do you have? Hmm?
I have 30.
Ah, okay, so yeah.
I'm gonna attack.
No, you'd still be able to stay in range. You don't necessarily have to dash, yeah.
It was like leave like 5 feet between us. I think that's far. enough
Yeah, you'd
away.
still be within my aura range.
Mine too. Do you feel my
Yay!
aura? Bro, my auras, bro.
We then
Getting-
turn
getting close
to
to the stinky smellies.
7, whom is currently standing atop his flying carpet, Ziz at his back, as he looks down at the carnage and chaos wreaked below.
Well, for one, if I get off the carpet, I'll be affected. I'll be affected by the earthquake spell, correct?
Yes.
Where we're at now.
Alright. Well, good thing I finally have ranged attacks. Let's see. This one right here isn't like. Oh wait, I should probably fucking. You know what? This is like a giant ballista, right? Right here.
Give me 1 second. I'm
Looking at-
actually currently working through that while you were.
Cause...
Yep, okay, yeah. They're ballistas. And they are currently being jostled apart violently. If the earthquake proceeds to continue as it is, it's very likely that come next round, they'll be destroyed.
I have no idea if I remember, shit. So, if so, I could shoot one of my explosive cartridges. I'm gonna say that I can, because that sounds like that sounds stupid for me to not have the ability to fucking shoot my cartridges. So, I'm gonna say that I load in one of my explosive cartridges, aim it at the ballista to my left, and fucking try to blow it up, hopefully. Oh, shit. Yeet.
Okay, and you're firing this specifically at which one again? These guys down below?
The one on
Towards...
the left.
All right. You quickly grab one of the cartridges from your belt, loading it into the feeder on the back of your pneumatic gauntlets. And with the pulling of the mechanism on the side of it, you hear the satisfying as it locks into place. You line up your hand, and with a flex of your wrist, a explosive tipped pile is launched from the back apparatus, flying towards the nearby orc, bedding into it. Roll damage.
Roll for this, and then it's 1d10.
Nice.
Oh, I was-
And it was an explosive when you loaded, right?
Yeah. Probably should also put that in there.
Oh, knock back, you say?
Yep.
And then the 1d10 if it all hits. So,
Go ahead and, yeah, it hits.
oh my
You're just slapping that in there. Okay. As the pile flies forth from its barrel and beds itself into the orcish fighter, it begins to glow before discharging a violent explosion. One that seems to be dulled by the armor worn by the orcish warrior. And in the process, he takes 16 damage.
You know what? That's fair.
And as the force of the pile kind of impacts his body, he manages to hold his footing and resist being thrown by it. Does this conclude your turn?
The ground being literal lava. Well, not literal, but you get what I mean.
It's like, I don't know, it's supposed to be like bricks, and I'd imagine it's more kind of like mud, so.
Yeah, that's it. That's it for me.
Alrighty. Roko?
Yes.
So what Roko is going to do, she's going to fly up to deal with these fellas. While still keeping a safe distance, I think right there would be good.
Yep.
Also, a good question to ask. So, I'm going to guess that the length of the staircases also represents the elevation. So, like, the staircase on the right side goes up roughly 55 feet, and then this one an additional 8.
No, it's a length of 58 feet, or rather 60 feet, and a elevation, like an incline elevation of roughly, I think it's I want to say like 15 feet at a like 40-degree angle. It's hard to capture elevation on 2D maps.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope to eventually integrate a virtual tabletop into things so you guys can actually see depth.
Ooh.
Oh, sure. Alright, I'll just leave that little note on the map there.
Yep. Like all the staircases are like at 40-degree angles, so.
Righto. There we go, Liz. With her winged boot enhancement, Roko's gonna float up to there. And she aims this at Gobble B.
Leveling her arm cannon in the direction of one of the nearby warriors manning the ballista at a distance. It charges and crackles with magic and arcane. Well, I would say it's straight up tech. It charges with a photon current.
Everything is photons.
Lasers!
Before launching forth a concussive concentrated blast of plasma. And blasting clear into the chest of the armored warrior, dealing 6 damage.
And it should also be noted that these
Or 9 damage, excuse me.
He's put a debuff on the creatures, so they have disadvantage on attack rolls, and it has to only be on Roko. If they try to target anything else, they cannot.
Gotcha. Alrighty.
And then, with extra attack, she's gonna blast Gobble A over there.
This one here?
Yeah, that one.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect, perfect.
Doing so with the other gauntlet.
Yep.
Nice sequence of right and left.
And with a quick 1-2, Roko casts plasma in the direction of the two orcish fighters manning the ballista, dealing a decent chunk damage as the scorched, charred remains, the impact point, kind of sizzle and fill the air with burned flesh, the odor of burned flesh.
And then with bonus action, she will grant herself 17 temporary HP. That's a nice pool of temp HP.
Mm-hmm.
Satisfied? I say go.
Alrighty. Spends movement to get up. All the orcs that were knocked onto their ass by the earthquake rise to their feet.
An excruciating amount of clicking, I'm sure.
Yeah, but we're getting there. It helps that I was smart enough to actually lump all of these guys together on the same initiative. Helps keep things easier to manage.
Indeed, otherwise this would be like Fire Emblem in one of those bigger maps where you watch each and every individual enemy soldier zip this way and that. Or insert other tactical RPG of similar design.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Ruh-roh.
They don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming.
Ooh-woo, ooh-woo.
Uh-oh.
All right. Oh, this is about to get spicy. The three goblin orcs just beneath Seven and Ziz heft up javelins and launch them up in the direction of the flying carpet. 2 targeting Ziz, 1 targeting Seven. Okay, does an 18 hit Ziz?
I believe so.
Accounting for mage armor as well.
Let's see here. 13 plus Dex mod. Pretty sure that's going to be a yeah. Then my Dex mod is what?
All right. Give me a concentration saving throw. Roll con.
Roll con. All right. Constitution save.
Yep, Constitution saving throw.
Cool. Let's do. Before I roll this, I would like to do that.
Fair enough. You roll with advantage.
I very much would like to keep this going.
You manage to maintain your concentration on your spell. But you take 36 damage in the process.
Ow!
Does an 18 hit 7?
Yeah. I have an AC of 17. So.
Yep. All right. And you too also take 36 damage.
Oh god, no one makes me bleed my own blood. I'll kill you.
All right.
We get hit, and Ziz just kind of looks at us. It's like, yeah, no, maybe we should move away a little bit now.
Yeah. We'll just have to wait till the fucking turn.
All right. One of the hill giants rises to his feet, looking at the massive fissure, barring his path forward, and in an angry huff, turns around, a dull look in its eyes, and attempts to rip the gates off of the fortress to use as a bridge to cross, and is joined by his compatriot. Dirty 20. They rip the fortress doors from their hinges, hefting them about as if they were cardboard, before laying it flush against the cracked fissure, separating them from their allies. And that's how they'll end their turn. The chaos draws the attention and ire of the commanding officer as he descends the staircase of his interior room to see the gateway to the interior of the fortress now missing, as the two dull hill giants kind of listlessly look about, a glazed over expression in their eyes. The commanding officer, dressed in heavy plate armor, brandishing a wicked-looking mace at his hip, walks forward. "You fools! How dare you! You bring shame to our order. Zentarum will not stand for such stupidity. Now, go forth and destroy the intruders." You hear him bark. And with renewed anger, the two hill giants let out a boisterous roar. And we're going to end the session there for tonight.
real
Who is
quick.
this man? Whoa.
Real,
Fella.
real quick. I want to ask one thing if I can do it.
What's that?
Would it be feasible for me to maybe use my reaction to yell at them back and try to re-intimidate them back?
You know what? I'll let you.
Hell
Go ahead
yeah,
and give
let's
me an
go.
intimidation roll.
Let's go. Let's see. Hey, dumb sons of bitches, don't listen to him. I'll kill you.
And you successfully bark out your vicious threat towards the troops and hill giants before you in an attempt to undermine and instill fear. And it works. As they all look to one another, uncertain, morale low, as the gateway to their fortress vibrates and rocks violently under the oppressive magics Ziz has imposed. And that's where we'll end tonight, picking up at the top of the initiative order, round 2 of combat.
Also, quick little thing that I sincerely apologize for. I had the Thunder Gauntlets mixed up with the Lightning Launcher, and I thought they had range. Turns out they are melee range.
Oh. Well, considering you're an inventor, I can say she just modified them and made them a ranged weapon.
Less.
I mean, that's what we've been doing all this time. There's no point in, like, you know what I mean? And it's
Fair enough.
worked. It's not like it's OP or problematic, so I don't see why you can't keep it as a ranged weapon.
Because it's not about the damage, it's about the utility. Which I like about it.
Yeah, bingo.
Excellent.
But yeah, we'll be picking up on our assault on this fortress base, apparently run by an organization known as the Zentarum.
That sounds vaguely familiar, maybe? No, I think it was something else. Never mind.
It might be. It's a name that is got some notoriety attached to it. Let's put it that way.
How's it spelled?
Give me one sec.
Thank you.
Will the unlikely few destroy this fortress, conquer it, or enslave its inhabitants? Find out next time on An Unlikely Tale, For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Yay!
As
Also, I have
always.
my eye on this ballista. I wanna preserve this thing. I feel like that could be useful with a bit of shenanigans.
Hopefully
which
the
one?
earthquake doesn't destroy it. It deals
the one
50
right at the
damage a
middle.
turn.
Well,
no.
hopefully, at least that one might have the most HP out of all of them because it's big.
It does look sturdy.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
The big.
But much
Okay.
love, guys. What's
Okay,
up?
I definitely want to pitch something to you later because I've been kind of looking. I'll tell you.
No worries. You already know what it is, my man. You hit me up, and we'll talk.
Hey, in fact, I'll probably just pitch you the idea right after this, just because I think you'll get a kick out of it.
And when you get a chance, could you inform me on what kind of stuff occurred after the Primus meeting? You said there were 2.
Yep,
things, I think?
yeah. You evolved your boon 2 stages by speaking directly to Primus.
2 stages. Alright, cool.
I'll update your sheet with the appropriate information by tomorrow afternoon,
Whenever you
because
can.
I'll be in
Much
a D&D
appreciated.
session by midday.
Oh, yes.
Gonna be having a awesome adventure with Medicus.
Looking forward to that.
Roko making them big gains.
Yeah.
She
That
finally
is all.
delving into the mind.
Night City will burn tomorrow.
Vision.
Alrighty, guys. Much
Thanks as
love.
always.
Appreciate that. And I'll catch you all a little bit later.
Ooh woo.
Good night, everyone.
See ya.
I too also am going by.
What a session, guys. They just trying to build an army. And now they're getting attacked by orcs. What a predicament. But I have no doubt that orcs are going to be trivial in the grand scheme of the things that these guys have faced. So as always, I want to thank all you fine folks for coming by and hanging out with us. Much, much love. It's always appreciated. Be it 1 million. I love sharing this adventure with you guys. So before we call it a night, want to wish you all pleasant rest. I want to inspire you to drink more water. But most importantly, that you continue to love yourselves and each other, that tomorrow might be a better day. And we'll send the love on over to Sir Brent. Be sure to spam his chat with all the love and hearts that you can. And I'll see all you fine folks again tomorrow. We'll be hosting the Medicus campaign here at the DPRQ. So if you haven't already followed Medicus Fallstar, what the hell are you doing with your life? Anyway, you all take care, and I'll see you soon, okay? Much love.
Welcome everyone, my name is Sir Brent. I'm playing a little bit of Cadence of Hyrule. We're in the final dungeon today. Somehow can't get this chest, even though it's directly under us. Alright, what's in this shop? No, I've got way too many keys. Now we're good here.